Good evening.
Good evening.
Richard, I was trying to unmute myself. I feel your pain.
Yes.
I just kept pushing buttons until it worked. It's kind of a new, I don't know, new wrinkle there. I mean, people who update software, they ought to be screened and vetted. They throw a bunch of surprises. I remember when I was working, I come in and work on Monday, and things will be in different places, and just all kinds. How you doing, Beth?
Hello there.
That was really nice and fortuitous that I ran to you on Brighton Road that day. Beth was going in a place, and I started yelling, Beth, Beth. And she said, I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to turn around. And I think you recognized my voice.
I finally did.
Yes. All right. I see, here comes Julie Lynn. There she is. Let me find the chat box. Come on. Okay, here we go. Kirsten, can you help me out? Are you a co-host?
I
I
will co-host if you send it to me. I am not currently.
Yeah, I don't see what that button. It's see, this is what I mean. You press the button I'm used to pressing, and it gives me a whole different range of options. I don't see make a co-host anywhere.
What would you like me to do? I'll let you know if I can do it.
Oh, just let people in.
Yeah, that's not popping up for me.
My edit profile picture. I don't want to edit. Oh, that's no wonder. I clicked the wrong one. My bad. I forgot we're both kind of. Are you? Oh, I see. Yeah. Now. Mm-hmm.
Got it together?
Yeah.
Shall we start?
Let's do. Is right. I know this.
Definitely need Brian. Okay, well, welcome to the first meeting of the Franklin Park Civic Association for 2024. And are we ready for the first meeting of the 50th year of the existence of the Franklin Park Civic Association? So there will be much more to follow about that. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Julia Lynn Walker, your temporary chair.
You mean outgoing?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Outgoing. I love it, Brian. Okay. So the outgoing chair of the association. And I think it would be good just to go around and have everybody just briefly introduce themselves. And if this is your first time or you haven't been with us for a long time, to share a little bit more about you. I'm actually, it's easier to say the year we moved here than how long, but we moved into Franklin Park in 1958 and in the house where we currently live in 1969. So the family's a long-term resident of the area. Brian, you want to just say one or two things about yourself, please?
All right. All right. Is this on? All right. Good evening. All right. I am. Okay. This is frozen.
We can hear you.
All right. I am Brian Curtis. I am the secretary of the current secretary of the association. And I've been living in Franklin Park on and off since 1985. I'm like the 5th generation in Franklin Park, which is weird, odd. You don't see that every day.
Very good.
Okay. And name another board member, please, or another existing member, current member.
Is Kirsten Weber on the call?
I am. Hi, everybody. I'm Kirsten Weber. I'm the vice president of the Civic Association. Myself and my partner, Jay, who you can't see, but he's cooking dinner right now, have been in the neighborhood since 2020. And Jay grew up here in Columbus, but I'm from Cincinnati, so moved to the area about 5 years ago. And I've been slowly working my way over to the east side of town, this side, and getting to enjoy everything that the neighborhood has to offer. So.
Choose someone.
All right, Will.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Will Willis. I am the outgoing treasurer, since we're going to use that moniker, of the mighty Franklin Park Civic Association. My wife and I moved here in 1979. And we have 2 children, one of which stays with us now, which we're very thankful for. And the other one is nearby. I grew up in Cleveland, but everybody knows Columbus is the place to be. So we're glad to be in the neighborhood and glad to be of whatever help we can to anybody that we can. Next person would be Fred Woods. Fred? You're listening, Fred. Okay, Fred's on a call. I'm not sure if he's in front of his screen. So Richard Harris.
Hi, I am a board member. We have resided in the Franklin Park community since 1978. Raised our one daughter here, and she got educated. Her mother worked at Ohio State, and she went down to school in Alabama and was gone for about 16 years. But praise God, she's home now. We tried to get her to do everything to get home, but she finally made the right choice. We run a community garden on Oak Street at 1536 and 1548, Growing Hearts and Hands Community Garden. And I'm also a member of the 50th Anniversary Committee. Thank you.
Fred, I see his microphone's open.
I can't hear you.
But we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, what was the question again, please?
Okay, just brief, 15-second introduction.
Oh, okay. My name is William Frederick Woods. I've been called Fred Woods all my life. I've been a resident of this area for going on 25 years. It have demographically changed. And I still Like the area. Been a willerer for 5 years, and I see it. This area really grow. That's it.
Thank you,
I
Fred.
mean, a few words.
That away. Anybody else?
Move to Fred Watson.
Hello, Julia Lynn and everybody. My name is Fred Watson. I moved into this neighborhood with my partner James back in 2003, and coming from a previous place on Brighton in Old Town East. And so enjoyed being here a number of years, and I just paid my dues tonight. So hopefully the treasurer will see that shortly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Beth.
The bank is always open.
Beth
always
Corda.
Hey.
Hey, hello everyone. Beth Corda in transit here. We're my husband and I moved in about 2 years ago. Peter grew up in Columbus. I'm from the Dayton area, and we are very much enjoying being in the neighborhood and being part of things.
Okay. Gary Berry.
I'm like, if I can get off of mute, good evening. My name is Gary Berry, your District 4 Commissioner for the Near East Area Commission and your NEAC Planning Chair.
Thank you. Joanna Harper.
Hi, neighbors. My name is Joanna Harper. Julia Lynn, thank you for pronouncing my name perfectly. I moved here, actually bought my first home ever here in Franklin Park in June of 23. I've been in Columbus since November of 2020, and very, very happy to be in what I consider the best neighborhood in Columbus.
Great, we agree. Javante McDonald.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Javante. I'm the director of the Healthy Community Center. Just wanted to join and introduce myself as well as get to know you guys a little better.
Well, we're going to give you 5 minutes later in the agenda, so they'll be able to hear a bit more about the HCC. Jay Hunt.
Hi, Jennifer Hunt. I'm also District 4 Near East Area Commissioner. I don't actually live in Franklin Park. I live just south of Main Street in the South of Main neighborhood, but I wanted to hang out and just participate as much as I can, see what's going on and what I might be able to do to help out. That's it.
Absolutely welcome. And the NEAC, area, of course, encompasses more than Franklin Park Civic Association area. So yeah, South of Main is definitely there. F. Golden.
Hi, everybody. I'm Officer Frank Golden. I'm the 7th Precinct Liaison. I'm filling in for Officer Scott Roundtree tonight. He had some family obligations. Been with the department for 29 years.
Ooh.
I've been a CLO for 3 years. Most of them was 7th Precinct.
A CLO?
I'm sorry?
You said a CLO?
Yeah, the Community Liaison Officer.
Okay, I just
yeah. I have 7th Precinct, which is just north of Broad Street, like Bronzeville, Eastgate, Milo Grogan areas. But your previous officer, Kalis, I work with her a lot. So I know a little bit about 12th Precinct. So glad to see so many people on the Zoom call tonight.
Well, Brian will have some questions for you a little bit later, so hold on there. Michelle Bailey.
Hi, yeah, I wanted to come tonight. I work at Franklin Park Conservatory. One of the things I do at the conservatory is coordinate the farmers market. And we always have a neighborhood day every year. And I wanted to meet you all and see if we could work something up to celebrate your big anniversary this year as part of our neighborhood celebration in June or July.
Okay.
So that's why
we're going to give you another 2 minutes.
Sorry?
We'll give you another 2 minutes later in the agenda.
Okay. I just want to give a shout out to Brian real quick because he and I met at a Columbus Insiders event in December at Barcelona. He sat with my husband and I, and we had wine together. So
There we
Small
go.
world.
Brian.
All right, and then I have Diane's iPad.
Hey.
You have to remember how you show up on these things. Diane's iPad.
Let me-
Okay. Magnum.
Hello and good evening, everyone. We're kind of some of the newbies on the to the community. My wife, Chantel, and myself, we certainly enjoy our home and living and being involved in the Franklin Park Conservatory community. We hope that this year, since my office is now a little bit more rooted in the Columbus area, I won't be doing as much traveling, and I will be a little bit more active in the association. So we're on it. Fred, I'll be taking care of my my membership fees as well today. Thank you. The bank's always open, right? The bank's always open. Thank you.
That's right.
Okay, did I miss anyone?
Okay,
Oh.
Diane's back. I couldn't unmute.
Okay, I know how it is. Go right ahead. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Diane English and I live on Oak Street. I moved here, my husband and I and kids moved here in 1987, and we stayed with his grandparents who lived at 1806 Oak Street, the Paytons. And then within about 6 months, we were able to buy the house down the street at 1826. So we have been here, like I say, since 1987. My kids have gone to school here. My kids have gone to school with Brian. My kids have gone to school with the Willis's children.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I have been a part of Franklin Park Association since we moved here. We used to be very, very involved when the kids were younger and doing things. And I kind of stepped off for a while, but I'm back because I like to try to keep up with what's going on in my neighborhood.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Was there anyone that I missed? Okay. And if we could, please, if you could stay mute, because we've got so many people and the, you know how these machines work, they start reverbing and whatnot. So if you could stay on mute unless you're actually speaking, I'd appreciate it. All right, so we'll go through our regular agenda now. We'll be moving fairly quickly because we do have a lot as always. And if we could, Brian, the minutes.
Okay. All right. The minutes have been posted online. And these are the minutes from the December 2023 meeting.
Okay.
Has anyone
go ahead.
Has anyone had a chance to look at them in the week and a half since they've been posted?
Okay, let me just explain briefly that generally we do post our minutes so that there is an opportunity for people to see within a week generally of each meeting what has occurred, and we don't normally review the minutes line by line in the meeting. Given the number of new people available, let's hold the minutes over till next month. Give people an opportunity to review them, see if there are any questions, and then we'll come back then. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Treasurer.
Thank you. The Treasurer's Report is also in the meeting folder, and hopefully people got a chance to look at it. I'll talk about that in just a second, but I would reinforce what our president said, that if you have questions, you don't need to wait till our next meeting. We have a mailbox, which is open 24/7, and you can send a question into that about the Treasurer's Report, the minutes, or anything else that's in our folder. With regard to the Treasurer's Report, things were kind of slow over the holidays. We signed up about 5 new memberships, and we received a number of very generous donations. I'm not going to call anybody's name because I don't have their permission, but folks were in a very generous mood, and we definitely appreciate that, especially going into our 50th year. As you look at the Treasurer's report, you'll also see something referred to as GHH, which Richard described as Growing Hearts and Hands Garden. We are the fiscal sponsor for that organization, and they receive donations through our website, and they also get grants and such that we manage for them. So several of the expenses that are on the report relate to Growing Hearts and Hands. Then we have our monthly operating expenses, which does definitely help cover like our Zoom costs, website costs, things of that sort. So that is essentially it. Oh, except something happened right after this. Well, this report is typically done for the executive committee, which meets the week before our general meeting. So we don't really try and update all the transactions that happen afterward. But one noteworthy one is we did write a check as requested to the Near East neighbors for the for the egg hunt that will be later this spring for $100 donation. We used to have an egg hunt ourselves, and we decided, we would partner with somebody else in the neighborhood who's doing one, and that's part of our partnership, is making that donation.
Okay,
That's
and
all I have.
I just wondered if it isn't too much trouble, it really may be beneficial to show, Will, maybe we can go on, but if you could show online how to enter our folder.
Yes.
Yes, I think that'd be beneficial. And let me just say something while you while you do that. 2 points. Yes, because you did mention in passing, our executive meetings are held the third week of the month, and then the full meeting is held the fourth meeting, as it is true tonight. That's one. The other point is that with respect to our dues, we do support various community projects within the neighborhood. And so the annual Easter egg hunt is one of them that is hosted at the Y on Woodland, the Ward Y at Woodland, and we'll have more information about that. But not only do we support it financially or support some of these other organizations financially, but we also support them with our bodies. We get out and do the work and help and stuff eggs and help with the day to keep the children in their right areas, et cetera, et cetera. Also, he mentioned the Greater Hearts and Hands. That is one of 10 community gardens within the Franklin Park Civic Association boundaries. And we do support the gardens as requested. At one point, we passed out, I think it was $100 a piece for basic, kind of upkeep. We had to move away from that, but we do ensure, we work closely, for instance, with Franklin Park Conservatory and ensure that each garden gets a group of volunteers through the primary growing season, which is April through October, or we work to assist with a facilitation of a grant. And then because so many of our gardens are really neighbors coming together to keep things going, we serve as a fiscal agent for the groups if they apply for money that requires a more formal accounting structure. So I just wanted to address those points while Will worked his magic.
Okay. Tell me what you see there, please.
A blank screen.
Okay, let me.
It's coming.
Oh, is it filling?
Here we go. That's it. We got it.
Oh, good. Okay, let me. So when Brian sends out the minutes, one of the very useful things he includes in it are links to various places on our Google Cloud. And our Google Cloud is kind of like our library, online library, part of which are folders where we keep our meeting agendas and our meeting minutes. The folder, which I hope I have on your screen, says 24 January 2024. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So if you click the link where Brian says here are where the minutes are, these are all the different things that are in the folder today. Here's the agenda. And of course, the minutes are for the prior month. So you can click on 2024 And I actually have to go back again because we're in a brand new year and go to the 2023 folder and go to December, and the December last month's minutes will be in 2023 December folder. So these are the minutes that Brian referred to, and this is where you can find it. But I think he also provided a direct link. Okay, so oftentimes, sometimes we have links to folders, but I think in the case of the minutes, Brian may have a direct link to this particular document. Again, as always, if you are having any challenges doing that, you can write us at FP Civic. That mailbox is not monitored 24/7, but it's monitored frequently. And we try and get back to you just as soon as we can with the assistance that you request.
Okay, thank you. I hope that helps. All right, so those, it's there for people to review, and so we will accept it for audit. Now, I'd like to give 3 people the floor to share with us. They've exchanged with me, either know their particular background or they've exchanged an idea, or we know there's an ongoing relationship we want to discuss. So I'd like to have Michelle Bailey, F. Golden, and Javante McDonald to just take 3 to 5 minutes and share with us your idea, who you are, why it's important for us to know you, et cetera, what you think, how you think we can work together this year. Okay, Michelle?
Okay. Yeah, I reached out to Julia Lynn and Richard Harris because I knew them and I knew they're very active in the Civic Association. But I have been the market coordinator since 2021. We have a farmer's market every Wednesday, this year it's June 5th through September 11th, 3:30 to 6:30. And I like to have different celebrations, if you will, once a month. So August we'll have National Farmers Market Week, but always in June, we have done a neighborhood day. And part of that is giving 2 tickets from the conservatory to the first 50 visitors from the 43205 and 43203 area codes. And this year, because I knew that it was your 50th anniversary, I would love to have some of you on site to have a table, talk about your organization, any ideas you have to connect with businesses. We can do a big spin the wheel thing. If there are businesses that you could connect me to that might want a coupon or have a raffle basket or anything. I'm really open to ideas. I just would love to brainstorm with you all and see if you all have an interest in working with us this summer.
But the date that you're specifically looking at?
I hadn't picked a specific date. We usually pick a market in June, but we could pick a market in July. We are not having a market July 3rd this year.
Right, I know. I'm not doing the 4th either.
Yeah, our customers always were down on that week, so we decided to table it. But yeah, I didn't know what you all had planned because I knew you'd been thinking about your celebration for a while. So I would love to, you all could pick a day. I don't have anything planned except for National Farmers Market Week in August.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Michelle? Okay.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, good. That was my next question. Any
Yeah.
the idea?
How do we reach you, Michelle?
Oh, I
put in the
am,
chat.
I'll give you my email. It's mbailey@fpconservatory.org.
Brian, are you doing that or? Okay. I was trying to put it in the chat here.
Oh, I could put it in the chat.
Okay,
I can
thank you.
That would
Yeah.
be
all of that.
easiest.
I know how to
Yeah.
do this too. I forgot.
I started to say it when you started talking, but I was like, okay, all right, if you can put that
Yeah,
in the
it's like
chat,
a
we'd
deer in
appreciate it.
headlights. I forget I know how to do stuff like this.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was a good idea too. So we will definitely get back to you. You'll hear a little bit later some things we're working on, and I think you'll fit. Well, we'll make a plan and make it work. Okay. Anything else with Michelle? Okay, thank you. Officer Golden.
Hello again. Like I said, I work for the community liaison section in the police department. There are 20 precincts across the city, and each precinct has a officer assigned to it. And as I said before, your officer is Officer Roundtree, Scott Roundtree. His email is S as in Sam Roundtree, ROUNTREE at columbuspolice.org. His phone number is 614-645-1412. Those are two ways you can reach him. He also has a city cell phone he was just issued, but I don't know what his phone number is. So you have to get with him to get that. Best way to reach him is through his email. He responds to those pretty regularly. Some of the things we do, we are community-based. We work with community a lot. We do civic associations such as yourself. We do the commission meetings. I think I've seen some of you at some of the commission meetings for the Near East Area Commission. As a matter of fact, I'll be there at the Easter egg at the Ward YMCA this March. I already got that down from Kate. We go out to block watch meetings. This past year, we had over, I think, 4,000 events where we were anywhere from Easter egg hunts to book bag giveaways, shoe giveaways through Rock City Church, trunk or treats throughout the city, turkey giveaways, various Christmas events, shop with a cop, things like that. A thing that we can help you with is providing you with crime statistics in your area. And I'm also going to give you a website that you can visit where you can look yourself to go look. You can type your address in and it'll give you all the activities that are going in your area. And that is going to be communitycrimemap.com. And you can, like I said, you can punch your address in. It's going to pop up all the things in your area, from burglaries to motor vehicle thefts to aggravated assaults and homicides. And with that leading into, I do have a 2-week report that goes from January 2nd through January 15th. These are done on a bi-weekly basis via our crime statisticians that we have. And I'll start off with burglaries. The biweekly average for burglaries on 12 precinct, which 12 precinct in the last 6 months has gained a lot of real estate. 12 precinct, I'm going to give the borders real quick, is from Broad Street south, from 71 down to Livingston Avenue, and that's where it used to end. And now, if you bump over to Champion Avenue and go south, it goes all the way down 104, and then it runs along I-70. So you picked up a lot of area, but you did not gain any officers for that area. So just keep that in mind when I give you these statistics, which are actually pretty moderately low according to the division. So for that 2-week period, there was 2 residential burglaries. One of them was actually right there in Franklin Park. It looks like it was on Oak Street. I don't have the address right now. There were 2. For burglary residentials, there were 3 for the whole precinct. Nothing in the Franklin Park area. Thefts from motor vehicles, there were 5. They normally average around 3.4. Motor vehicle thefts, which is an issue across the city, those usually average on 12 precinct 21, and they were actually low that reporting period. They were down to 6, which is good. I noticed that on my precinct too, and across the city, some of those have dropped off. I don't know if that's due to arrest or what, but hopefully that's what it is. We're locking these people up, keeping them in jail. Robberies to individuals, there were 3 for that reporting period. Robberies to businesses, there were 0. Aggravated assaults, we're at 2. And so the biweekly average for crimes for 12 precinct is 40.2. And for that reporting period, there was 21. So, any crime by any means is too much, but that's pretty low. So that's just some of the things we do. And if you guys want to get in touch with Officer Roundtree, you have any questions, he can help you out. If you do go to Community Crime Map, it'll give you a report number for that report. And if you want to ask him specifics about that, he can look the report up and he can get back with you and tell you what it's involved. Because it'll give you just an approximate address. It's not going to give you the actual place where it happened, but he can get that information for you. So I will open that up for any questions.
Yeah, just unmute and raise your question if you do. I don't see any hands.
You said, I thought, go ahead.
This is Gary Berry. My question is, I was driving home Saturday, and I know your 2 week before you said it stopped at the 15th, but we saw there was a lot of commotion at Franklin Park around the pond, but I haven't seen like any official. I see a couple of head nods, but I never heard anything officially that came out of it. Do you know anything, Officer Go?
What date was this?
This was
Friday, I think. Was it Friday?
Saturday or Friday.
What time do you think?
Checking. Hold
I
on.
can tell you
I can do a
exactly,
precinct
Yeah, we
search.
can tell you.
because we got
Because,
text about it.
Yeah. Here it is. It was Friday the 19th, really about 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Friday the 19th. And they said it was a 16-year-old nonverbal child that they thought, he, small, 5'10", 90 pounds, last seen with a multicolored jacket.
Jury line?
But that was it. Yeah.
Kirsten heard an update on that real brief. Go ahead.
Okay. Kirsten?
Yeah, it did seem that the nonverbal child was found. The mom posted on, it was all through our Near East Facebook page that I got my information, but that was the end of that portion of it that I heard, was that the mother said that the child had made it home. They ended up on the bus.
Okay. So we don't know about the person that was in the pond. There was definitely somebody in the water.
But I also read that's what they thought, and this is so much hearsay at that point. So I have no idea, but it's what it sounded like. There were footprints on the ice. But again, all hearsay. I'm not sure on that part.
Okay, Gary. Well, I don't know if that helped, but there
Yeah,
it is.
I'm gonna look it up here real quick and see.
Yeah. My
Something is
daughter
better
was
than nothing.
listening to like a scanner and she heard that all going on. And then she came back and said they had divers there, but no body was found.
Right.
It was a miscommunication that they thought someone was in the pond, but they said it was not after the divers got here.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at the run now. It says that there was a kid walking on the thin ice outside the pond. Okay. I'm briefly reading through this here real quick. Said kids were on the ice earlier. The dive master was advised. They didn't find anybody, and the dive team did come out to do a recovery. It doesn't say anything about anybody being found on the run itself that I'm reading.
Okay.
So, Officer Golden,
Yes.
if you were finishing your remarks, I thought you said we could go to a website and look up the number, or I wasn't sure how one would do the research that you were describing to get more details about an incident.
That's a community crime map?
Yes, communitycrimemap.com.
Oh, okay, .com. All right, thank you.
Yes.
So
So-
is that the best source if we're wondering, like Friday night, you see a lot of emergency vehicles. Is that the best way to find out, the best
No,
resource?
That's going to be more for like your reports,
Right.
to look up your reports and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I know a lot of people have like Citizens app and things like that.
Right.
That's probably the best thing to get on, and you can listen to the police scanner.
Oh, okay.
If you get, I'll put my email in the chat as well. That way, if you have a question, you get a hold of me, because, you know, I share the same office as Officer Roundtree.
Right.
And we're
Okay.
usually here on Saturdays and stuff. And with the division phones, we don't take those home or anything. But once you get his division phone, you can also shoot him a text and ask him what's going on. Generally, you know, I work evenings 2 nights a week. He does it as needed. But I have a pretty set schedule. But yeah, Citizens app, the community crime app was more if you look up a report like after something happened, or if you want to see if there's any crime trends in your neighborhood or what's going on. It's more of a reporting information.
And the number that you listed for Officer Roundtree, that's his office number, right? The one ending in 1412?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
And mine ends in 1407 for 7th Precinct, 645-1407.
All right, so we recognize that you are standing in for Officer Roundtree tonight, and we appreciate it. And we've got all the details so people can follow up individually. If there's something immediate, you can contact, send a text message or a call or send an email. And then if you want to know statistics, what's happened in the past, then you can go online to the communitycrimemap.com.
That is
Okay,
correct.
thank you very much.
You're
Let's
welcome.
move on to a longtime community partner with a new role, Javante. And those who have been members of the Civic Association know that I have been talking about the HCC for some time. So, Javante? Now he's still on. He looks unmuted, but I don't hear anything. Javante, I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
All right. So again, I apologize for any noise. I'm at my alumni fraternity chapter meeting, so I'm about to step off of this meeting right after this. But I did want to get a chance to introduce myself. I don't know. So I'm the director of the Healthy Community Center. You guys know, I know a couple of you guys from my time as the executive director at the Ward YMCA. I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the programmatic, and not only just programmatic, but in this fact that we have space right there on Long and Woodland, being able to provide that space for some of the community events that you guys have been talking about. I've heard about the gardening and all of those type of things, and I'm looking forward to those opportunities. Our focus in the space is chronic health, as well as some of those social determinants that lead to unhealthy lifestyles. So those are our focuses. However, with that being that I have available space, I'm willing to work outside those boundaries just to make sure that we're having some type of collaborative relationship. So I just want to keep it short. I'll drop my email in the chat as well for anyone that does want to connect and talk about that any further. But thank you for having me.
Okay, just hold on. Any quick questions for Javante? Because we don't want to hold up his frat brothers, but any quick questions for him?
Projected opening date, sir?
March. It's March.
Oh,
yeah. If he's gone. Okay, well, if there are some other questions, I may be able to answer them. Are there any questions? Okay, let me just say briefly that the Healthy Community Center is being established in the facility formerly housing the East Side Library at 1600 East Long Street, just off of Woodland. Okay, you may have noticed the construction fences up, and things are happening. So that is the old library has been remodeled, and as Javante mentioned, it is focusing on the social determinants of health, and so that means, for instance, healthy living through healthy dietary patterns, habits, and so when you first enter off of the west side, that parking lot, the large parking lot, when you enter off the west side, on the right hand in the building, there's a commercial kitchen. And so it's got the full equipment. It's got the cameras with the screens overhead so that people can see what the chef is cooking, on the tables and chairs and whatnot. And so they will have a regular person that will have doing classes. but the space is also available for people who would like to do a cooking class on something. Say you want to do vegan desserts, you can, use the space. And so that's one thing. The other is on the other side of that, walking to the east, there will be a cafe. And the cafe, last I heard, would just be open for breakfast and lunch. It may have more extended hours, but for now, it will be breakfast and lunch. Again, healthy lifestyle. It's not going to be Wendy's or, a fried chicken joint. It's going to be something that really speaks to healthy eating. Then on the left-hand side of that hallway will be the meeting rooms. And it's a large space that can be divided into 3. And I think each one holds 30 people. So, and you can open it and have 100 people there. So there's that space. And then opposite that in the corner is a workout space, the physical. So it's got the padding and the equipment, and you can go on it. And again, they will have someone to provide regular activities, but it will also be available to be housed to be requested by the community. So if you come in and you say you want to do hula hoop, you want to do double Dutch. I mean, not double Dutch doesn't work, but you want to do something, you can do it. Now, with respect to the room reservations, they've asked, they're in the process of developing a reservation system with proper forms, etc. And depending on the activity, the last I heard, it was basically for free. It's like the library, it was just a question of signing up in a timely manner. But that may change with respect to certain activities, and they're going to let us know. So that is it is under OSU Wexner Medical Center, and they're looking to expand and work with some other activities as well. In fact, you may have been aware of some of the activities that have been happening since they discussed it, opening it last year, because in preparation for it, they were going around the community doing different things. And I can share one later, I think. Okay, so any other questions on the Healthy Community Center? Okay, let me take a moment to go back to our folk and ask Sylvia McLeod Smith to introduce herself. If you just there you go. Just unmute yourself, Sylvia. Okay, she may have stepped away. We'll do it. Remind me to catch her later. Okay, so you've got an update on various community activities. We'll move now into our committee reports. And we could start with activities and events. May as well just get a full blast here. Kirsten?
All right. So we are starting back up our walks. We will be visiting the, why can I never remember the name of it? Give me 3 seconds. We will be visiting Walk with a Doc at their,
Metro.
At High Banks Metro Park.
High Banks Metro.
Sorry, that eluded me. On the 3rd, on February 3rd, we're kicking everything off with a winter walk. Starts at 8:30. If you would like to join us, please feel free to meet us up. If you want to carpool with us, we will be meeting at 850 Franklin Park South, which is where the horseshoe is, right in the park. It's where we meet for all of our walks every month. It's right before you get into where we actually hold our physical meetings as well in the park. We'll be leaving at 8 a.m. So there will be a post going up this evening so that all those details are on Facebook. We'll include that in our email send out, etc. So we will be picking these up monthly again. Normally we've only done them in the summer, but we're trying to extend them throughout the year, and we're theming them this year to a degree. So this one is we're visiting Walk with a Doc. We did with them a couple months ago. That was very successful. Get to walk around and talk with the doctor if you would like. They have activities coffee, etc., before they start walking. So again, 8:30 on February 3rd.
And if
So
we want to carpool, meet at 8 a.m. at the Horseshoe.
yes, ma'am. All information will be on Facebook as well. I'm sending out an invite on Facebook and in our email follow-up that you get from this meeting too.
Does that mean that we've got a Franklin Park Facebook page?
We do.
Yes.
It's
I did not
called-
know that.
So if you need our Facebook page, I will send it in the chat because I'm actually trying to create that event right now. So it's messing everything
Awesome.
up.
Thank you.
But yes, if you would like to follow us on Facebook, I'll include everything. We're also on Instagram as well with the same handle. And so that information will all be coming out. And then we are in the midst of working on our 50th anniversary and all of the activities pertaining to that. So I'm going to kick it over to Will, who is working on the first portion of this, our past, the history of the neighborhood and the FPCA, for him to talk about that. And then I can take over at the end to discuss the mingle very quickly, which is our current, the middle portion.
Okay. Let me share a document here. Our event is going to be called Back to Our Future, and we're going to have an event at the Franklin Park Conservatory on March the 3rd. Let's see. Do you see a document called Back to Our Future?
No, it's blank.
Okay, okay. How's that?
Much better, but too small.
You're right. Yeah, I have two screens on my computer, and sometimes it shows both of them, sometimes it does not. But at any rate, so we're having an event on March 3rd in the Viridian Room, which is...
Will you hit the square up in the top right to cover your whole screen?
Thank
to
you.
expand the...
There we go.
Next, yep.
There we go. Nope. Yep, okay. All right, there we go. There we go. That's a little better. All right.
Okay.
It's still a little off, but.
So, but it's in the folder. And so we will be in the Viridian Room, and we will be joined by several folks. We will have event partners that include Columbus Metropolitan Library, but also institutions who either are or were in the community, including Children's Hospital, St. Anne's, Columbus Academy, Recreation Park, St. Vincent's Family Service, Central Community House, and the Department of Neighborhoods, who obviously operates all the beautiful parks in our neighborhood area. We are going to take people back kind of through a time tunnel and several exhibits that talk about buildings in our neighborhood in terms of how they existed back in the day and how they look now, or sites, you know, that, for example, Columbus Academy used to be on Nelson Road. It has since moved to Gahanna, and so we have a park there now. Children's Hospital started out in our neighborhood right at the intersection of Franklin Park West and Franklin Park South. East High School started out where Columbus Preparatory School is. So there are a number of situations like that that will be illustrated where we're asking the owners of those organizations to kind of tell their own story in terms of how they started, why they started where they did, and how they've evolved since then. We will also have a display of history makers, of noteworthy people who have lived or worked in the Franklin Park community. Obviously, one of the more popular ones that everybody knows is Miss A.M.B. Walker. And we'll have a slideshow that includes pictures and hopefully some oral histories from those folks as well. The library will have a room where they will help people scan pictures and documents about their history here in the Franklin Park neighborhood. And people can keep those things for themselves and build their own family legacy book. But the library will also be asking people if they want to loan those items to the library to be part of a kind of a documentary about the Franklin Park neighborhood that everybody can look at to better understand what happened in the Franklin Park neighborhood. I thought Diane's story was real intriguing, of moving into a house with a neighbor and being able to house buy down the street. That is very unusual on a number of levels, on a number of levels. So we want to capture those kind of histories so that people understand how things work and why they're working. And then one of the newer things we're going to add, there's a hallway in the Viridian Room area where we are going to work with schools that are either in or used to be in the area, A+ Academy, Columbus Preparatory School, East High School, etc., and ask students in those schools to make their own timeline. And of course, when you ask students to do things, they don't always, see eye to eye and come back with exactly what you asked for. But what we're hoping for is that with some research that we will provide, hopefully the schools will provide, they'll be able to complete a template with the assistance of April Tsunami, who's going to be our art advisor on the project, and create a template that we'll post in that hallway. So we're going to have maybe 5 to 10 timelines that the children from these neighborhood schools create that talk about their school or their neighborhood, their house, or maybe even their future that they want to see in the Franklin Park neighborhood. So all these things are works in progress. We have a planning committee. Several people in the planning committee are on the call tonight. We meet every other week. We met last week, and those meeting dates are posted on our calendar. One thing I did want to show is, because the question was asked, is about our Facebook page. So this is the homepage for our website. And you see we do have a link to our calendar. It has our meeting calendar, but it also lists meetings like tonight's meeting and the history meeting. So you can click those and get details about those meetings, including the sign-on link. Over on the top here, we have these symbols for our Instagram page, our Facebook page, our YouTube site, and here's our link tree. So you can click on any one of those and get to them by going to our website. That's all I have to report.
Good, thank you. Okay, back to Kirsten. Oh, let me just say also that the first Sunday of every month is Community Day for Franklin Park. And that means there's no fee, except for, I think every once in a while, that real special exhibit, they still have a fee. But any Franklin County resident may walk in for free. And so March 3rd is a Community Day. So we really want to encourage everybody to come out and, enjoy the gardens as well as our particular exhibit. Okay, Kirsten.
All right, so we have our mingle date, June 9th. We will be the same place we are every year, which is at 1850 Franklin Park South, which is again in the Scott's Miracle Grow Community Garden Campus. And so we are starting to plan that right now. We are looking for our food trucks just to make sure that we have all of our food lined up this year, and we're working through what the programming looks like. So this is mostly just a pitch. If you have any ideas of what you would like to see at the Mingle this year, if you would like to help plan it, we could use any help we can get, especially because a lot of us are also helping out planning the event on March 3rd as well. So any extra help that we can get, thank you for putting that the horseshoe is 1820, not 1850. Franklin Park South for the horseshoe.
They actually
all right there. It gets very confusing.
Yeah. So
there's only one horseshoe, so it shouldn't.
Yeah, the horseshoe is how we know it.
There's one horseshoe. Mm-hmm.
So we are refreshing. We use a program called Sign Up Genius, and we have that link in several places on our link tree and on our website. And so when Kirsten says to join us, we'll be refreshing those links. So if you want to sign up to volunteer and help at our Back to Our Future event, or if you want to sign up for a walk or any of those things, you can sign up using the Sign Up Genius program through the link on our website. Okay.
And if for some unfortunate reason you were, sick or dying the past 10 years when we had a mingle, or at least the past 2 when we had mingles on Sunday afternoon, then just let me share with you that we have Usually we have a number of items that are available for raffle and or giveaway. We've got different ways in which people can, win a prize, as it were. We have adult games. We have an area for children. We have children's games. We almost always have a giveaway with respect to plants of some form or another. And we have an open bar. And then we aren't allowed to bring, huh? No, it's cash bar. Sorry, that really would be a mistake. No, it's a cash bar. And then we don't bring in food, but we have food trucks. And so we'll have, some way to include that in the process. So Kirsten says there are a number of ways in which you can volunteer. Please help us, select the food trucks, keep track of that. Michelle talked about an activity with raffles. Let's try and get all of our raffle prizes for the year in order so we don't go back to the same business, nickel and diming, as my folks would say, where we could get something decent. And you don't want to harass people. So let's just be organized. And Jennifer wanted to know what time March 3rd is, Will. Or Kirsten? Okay.
1 to 5.
1 to 5?
Yes, 1 to 5 roughly. We will finalize the details.
Yeah.
People are still just coming back from vacation and whatnot, so we haven't pinned down all those details, but we'll be tentatively 1 to 5, and the conservatory on that day will have the Columbus Symphony Chamber Orchestra, who will be playing in the Wolf Palm House and up in the atrium, 2 small concerts, I think they're like 15 minutes apiece, that is part of the free experience. And then you can see the butterfly exhibit that'll be going on at the same time, and the orchid exhibit. So there'll be something for people of every age, okay, to enjoy that day.
And then the mingle is generally 1 to 3.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Or whenever we can get people to leave, right?
Right. Okay. Something else, Kirsten?
The only other thing I wanted to highlight was the point of all of these, especially with our 50th anniversary, is we are trying to highlight our first event in March is helping us highlight what has happened in our neighborhood, the past of the neighborhood and the Civic Association. The mingle timeframe is about what we've been doing for the past few years and what the path is that we're on. And then we will also have some activity, some event, something, we're still working through it, at the last period of the year, highlighting what we want the Franklin Park Civic Association to continue doing, how we want this to continue growing with the neighborhood. Just for some perspective. The only other thing is there's also always entertainment at the mingle. It's a lot of fun.
Always. Yes.
Good fans that have played for us, and that draws a lot of people in because they can just hear it throughout the park. So
okay, I was going to address the third part of the year. We were talking about climate change and just the impact and what could we do as a community. And so even if we could sign up 50 to 100 households to do composting, if we could do some kind of recycling program. I was in a discussion on Sunday on the tree planting. If we approach our neighbors to say, hey, did you think about putting in a tree? Because we do have access to free trees. And so we could really, if we could, even though we've got all those trees in Franklin Park, our area as a whole has a tree deficit in terms of the tree canopy. So if we could get any of our neighbors to, plant a new tree, that would be great. So we've got a number of options that we want to look at in terms of how do we preserve the community for the future so it remains as a beneficial community as it has in the past. Okay, let's move on very quickly. Of course, we're running over, but if we could get some very quick updates from public relations and marketing. Thank you, Kirsten.
All right. The big thing is the Deck the House competition. We had three finalists, and the winners are Jim and Andre, who live on Brighton Road, and They got the most votes. And then in second place, we had the Craigs, who are new members who live not too far from yours truly. And in third place, our former vice president, Tamika Johnson, submitted. So I have some ideas like freshen it up next year. Some ideas that were tossed around at the executive meeting were like talking about promoting the prizes more to get people to submit next year, more people to consider doing it next year. I have
Okay.
ideas on how to make it better, and Mr. Willis is actually sharing his screen.
But can we talk about those ideas in September, please?
Sure, like
Okay.
absolutely.
So at least you see now, those who didn't know, we did have a contest for people, area residents who decorated their houses to submit them for consideration of a prize. And so we didn't have such a high turnout, but there are some ideas to increase that for next year. Okay. Membership, we're still gonna talk to, we're not talking to Beth, we're still, okay. Health and safety. And this is Sylvia. I tried to introduce her earlier. Sylvia, you still with us? Okay, she's identified as being on. Okay, we keep moving. Development, Jay. I know you're looking in the background.
I'm here. All right. Just a couple of quick things. Getting ready to meet with some of the local realtors. We're going to be promoting some realtor walks and just some education on the neighborhood with some of the local realtor groups. So as they are showing properties and places to live throughout Columbus, that they are highlighting Franklin Park. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that normally we get absorbed into Old Town, and we want to make sure that they know we're a separate entity and that we have a lot to offer. So we'll be doing some education programs with them, with the help of some of the realtors that live in the neighborhood. Working on a quarterly meeting with NEAC at the East Market to assist the vendors. The market is also invited to these meetings, but really our focus is the small business owners and how NEAC and Franklin Park can help them and make sure that they're profitable and that they're sticking around the neighborhood. We've got a list of businesses to go meet with and try to establish relationships, get them on our membership roster, etc. I'm intending to send that business list out to everybody, or I'll post it on the Google Drive. For this first go around, if you look at the list and you don't see something listed, please, for now, we're focused on licensed businesses. So not babysitting that people do on the side or anything like that. Our focus for this first go around is licensed businesses. So I'll be posting that, and then the development committee will be getting out to those businesses and discuss what we can offer, how we can help them, vice versa. And the only other thing I had real quick, we didn't have any large development things come through Franklin Park. The way that I've kind of been handling this is anything that's on the smaller scale isn't overly controversial. I've been working through the executive committee to try to vet those to get a recommendation. Anything larger, the intent would be to come to the larger group. The problem is, sometimes these things come in kind of quick, so we might not have enough time to wait for the next meeting. Just kind of wanted to get a quick climate check on handling the small ones kind of internal, and then bringing the larger ones to the larger group. Is everyone kind of okay with that mentality?
Any feedback?
Sorry?
I'm just asking, any feedback? Brian
I'm
says
okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it should
Fine
be,
with me.
yeah. Okay,
If anybody has any questions about any of the properties or the recommendations that we are giving, I'm happy to talk through that with people. Our recommendations we try to keep really clear cut. We're not making recommendations on aesthetics. We are kind of making recommendations on if we think it's a viable property alteration. Do we think a setback is a setback variance is needed, that sort of thing. Nothing really all that exciting. If there were, larger issues, we would bring them to the larger group to get everybody's feedback, so I can take that as a recommendation back from the FPCA.
any questions for Jay? Okay, thank you. Now, this isn't a committee, but we do have a regular report when the schedules coincide on NEAC. And so, Gary, is there anything else you want to share with us regarding NEAC?
Yeah, I have a few things. First, I want to say shout outs to Mitch Logan, who was a member of Franklin Park Civic Association. And he is now our newly appointed business at large member of NEAC. So we had an election. He was found to be our best candidate. So congratulations to Mitch. We did have we've been working on short-term rental recommendations to forward to City Council. That information was picked up by the Columbus Dispatch, and we circulated an article and sent it out to Franklin Park. So the whole point of it is trying to find better accountability and documentation for community safety. We had, of course, we know right across from East Market, there was a murder at an Airbnb where somebody's dead body was just found in the middle of the doorway. So 10 TV also picked up the coverage of that. And so while we're collaborating with the Far East and University District, we are hoping that this that City Council really entertains this and sees this as a way of not having to do the work, because we did it for them. We just need them to help push it along. So more to come on that. And finally, and this is kind of in an unofficial capacity, but it just came to planning this past Thursday. But the Broadwin, which is at the corner of Broad and Winter, there is another developer who is in the running. I see Jay in the background saying, yeah. Wow. So
There's been a few developers already. So hopefully
there have been a few. So this particular developer is working with another developer from out of town who has a history of resurrecting past structures that have been, basically mothballed. And so they left us with some materials. They did a conceptual review only, but here are the basic outline. They want to do a mixed use apartment building where the first floor is commercial, think upscale restaurant mixed with like maybe a convenience store or some sort of small other retail. And the rest of the building is going to be 80 to 85 apartment buildings of mixed affordability, all the way from just under market down to depending on funding. And so that's why they came to NEAC. They did request a letter of support from us, and planning voted for affirming and giving them the support they needed to move forward with the plan. And so at this point, we will be hearing back from them once they come. They have to come back through NEAC. So when they do, we'll bring really more concrete facts around it right now. But other places have made it this far, secured funding, even exercise funding, began renovations, and then realized they bit off more than they can chew. So those are pretty much all the updates that I have from.
That's on Broad, right? It's the
Yeah.
Right across
Broad and Wilson.
Columbus Foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful building, wonderful
Absolutely.
apartments. It used to be.
And they do plan to also resurrect the parking building structure behind it
Yeah.
to make sure there's at least one parking space with a little extra per one of the 80 units apartment buildings. And it's reducing from like 114 or so
Right.
So we're hoping to
This should
see
be
a little bit
larger.
larger units that are more
Yeah.
realistic to live in.
And it's interesting how almost all these developments now are putting first floor retail.
I think they need the mixed use to offset cost. The developer is he's been very vocal about providing a mixed income environment. So you have everybody from people who can afford market down to as far as they can get funding for. So they are submitting for additional funding from the city to get those credits. So more to come.
Any questions for Commissioner Berry?
I got a real quick one, Gary. As in relation to the short-term rentals, is there somewhere that we can look up which properties are licensed short-term rentals? Because I feel like that is a area that we as residents could help if we, see a property that's operating, or can we check and go like, oh, that's an unlicensed, short-term rental, and then report it to the city?
I will find that out. I know for regular rental information, it's a part of the county auditor, but I think this information is kept someplace different. So
Okay.
I'll double check and get back to you on that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, I just figured that's a good place that we, the local, residents can help identify those unlicensed ones and have the city take care of them without needing to do anything
So
else.
and they have been cracking down on the ones that are easy to documentation wise prove that they are short terms. But
On Airbnb with no license?
I do not believe so. And I think we all don't believe so. It is not very simple or easy to make that type of filing and to get something to happen from it. Because the most that we've seen is a very, very small fine. And so also, has everybody seen the short-term rental information that we've written up? Because maybe
Well,
that's
I was just getting ready to say that Franklin Park was involved in compiling that document. And we, can make it available. I guess we can put it on our website as well. And then last week, before the dispatch article came out, they were looking to us for an update. And, I just missed the email or the call, whatever it was. But we were very involved because there are certain key pockets of the city that are ripe for this. And we're one. We're just sitting, with the park. And I know people are, I know on Franklin Park South, somebody's charging $180 a night for a 1-bedroom with a bath for Airbnb. But that's a responsible owner. But I'm just sharing with you that that's the kind of, and on the other hand, we have the houses that are just being leased with no thought for upkeep or sensitivity to neighbors. And they're really, I actually was amazed at how many are rented for parties because people have no place else to go and they can't afford to go downtown or rent the restaurants or whatever, which is fine, but be responsible. And so it's the loud drinking, it's the bottles, it's the cars. People were jamming cars and having accidents and running away. So it's really becoming quite problematic. So, we really were recognizing that, yes, you have a right to have a building and do what you want, but you can't do it in a way that disrespects the rest of the neighborhood. So we
a lot of them were doing, Airbnb is starting to crack down on those also as they get reported, but it's as they get reported. Right. So unless the owner is doing the reporting or somebody third party is reporting it to Airbnb, unfortunately, we're trying to get the city to at least make it easier to contact the rental manager for whoever is supposedly monitoring these people. Right. And make sure that that person is somebody who's in town that can. Right.
Because so many of these are not only the owner out of town, but they have 3, 4, 5, 6 properties, the same manner. Okay, anything else for Commissioner Berry? Thank you very much. Any old business?
Well, we talked about Back to Our Future and the lights competition.
Any new old business? Okay, any new business? Anything new that people would like to add to the agenda? Okay, any announcements, public comments, thoughts for the good of the order?
Elections.
Okay, what do you have to say about that?
We need to start talking about them. Just a statement in general.
Okay, all right, this is an election year for half of our officers. It is the president, the secretary, no, the president, the treasurer, and 3 of the trustees. And so there will be further information about the election process. Eligibility is simply being a member of the association 1 month prior to the date of the elections. And that's it.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? I just
want to say, this is Sylvia.
There you are.
I'm sorry. I
okay.
had a hard time getting on, and then I was at the Franklin Park. So I was trying to drive home, and then you was trying to announce me. I was like, oh no, I gotta wait till I pull over. So I apologize. I was driving, but I'm Sylvia McLeod Smith. And I'm a member from Love Zion Baptist Church on Madison.
Right. And they work with she and Elaine work on the Health and Safety Committee. So we'll get back to that. Okay, thank you. Glad you were able to make it.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what the problem was. Probably me with, computer
technology.
not the best.
Technology.
Yes.
I'm telling you. Okay.
That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you. Okay. I put in the okay, let me back up. We have a special relationship with Franklin Park, basically, as a civic association. And after Ameriflora, Franklin Park said that they would make a certain effort to be responsive to the residents in the nearby area. And so that's why when it's warm, we meet at Franklin Park. Our Mingle, we are basically given the space for free. And all you have to do is go on the website and see what an advantage that is, because we're talking thousands of dollars, for any space at Franklin Park. But also, we had a number of discussions with them just about the general programming, because we just thought that the fees were quite exorbitant for people in 03 and 05 to be able to attend, particularly if they had children. And at first, the cultural passport was developed through the public library, which allowed people to use the about 3 or 4 different cultural facilities within town. But then when I went to ask for the zip codes, because everything is tracked by zip codes, I found out that it was not residents from 03 and 05 using them. It was the Bexley, Grandview, and Upper Arlington mothers who were getting the passes and bringing their kids during the daytime. So we said, okay, we really have to rework this. And over the past year, Franklin Park Conservatory has really become open to having a variety of different classes that are more appropriate for different constituencies and for no charge. And that's where opening on the 1st of the month came, because other organizations were doing it. And we said, well, if they can do it, why can't you do it? And you just have to find the funding and put in your budget and that whole thing. And now there are 2,000 to 4,000 people attend on any given first Sunday. I still have issues because, we go and then we ask for the zip code analysis, and we still don't have as many from 03 or 05 as we would like, but we continue to build. And so that's why I'm saying that, our March event will be on a community day. We want to get people there. Our bingo will not be, we did last year, but there was a conflict with something they had scheduled, but there are other activities that they have that we encourage people to, see, because it's free and they're incredible. All right. So the classes, all those classes, $35 a head. Who was going to see those classes for $35? So we got on them about the classes. This year there's a full calendar of classes with different fees from 0 to 35. And I'm actually doing one February 29th on Indigenous African Botanicals. And so I put the link in the chat. You can go online and register for free for the class. And also, you know, review the whole list and take advantage. You know, make it a family activity. Make it a girls' night out activity. You know, we've really fought to have these kinds of changes, and it's really important that we support them. So I just wanted to share that as a announcement. Anything else?
All right. To piggyback on what we said last month and what we hope for this year, I say that this year is going to be great. It's going to be the stepping stone for our future. And I can't wait till we do all of these events this year. And also, the library is having a program on February 28th with the conservatory, and that's virtual. And you can go to the library's website and register there. And they're also having on the 19th at the MLK Library, I believe that's on our website or a link tree, the history of Black firefighters in Columbus. So yeah. And then CODA is proposing to restore some service in May and or September. Among the proposals are restoring 15-minute service on Mount Vernon, and then 10-minute service on like Broad Street, Main Street, Livingston, Cleveland Avenue during the evening rush hour, and then 15-minute service on Saturdays on those lines, and possibly restoring the midnight lineups and late night service. So
and it may be too late. There's a Linkus meeting on Thursday down on Parsons, where they're going to review the full program. And I noticed that they're devoting a significant amount of time to the integration of CODA with other transport options beyond the borders of Franklin County. And I'm sure this is because of come on, well, who are those folks up in Gahanna, New Albany? Intel, because people, no, seriously, Intel was talking about how, I know we got 2 minutes, Intel was talking about how they were going to create jobs, and the CODA bus line ends there if you were to take the line up, and then they would have to walk 15 or 20 miles to get to Intel. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's no transportation. So it's really once again, it's clear, you know, who's being serviced by certain economic developments. And so people protested so vociferously that CODA's now come back to say, no, we're gonna come up with some linking patterns. We're gonna have these small operators, you know, but our charter mandates that we end at the Franklin County line. So, but we are gonna work. So I'm gonna go. And you know, we'll just see. But it's just very interesting how all of a sudden they realize how problematic it is for so many workers to get to this Intel site that is, you know, promising everything for everybody. All right, any other comments, questions, announcements? All right, let me just say briefly that generally we have a keynote speaker, as it were. But it's we do try to have someone every month to speak for about 10 minutes on a key topic of interest. If there's something that you think would be of interest topic or someone who you'd like to propose, please drop us a note through the website, Facebook page, me directly, another officer or trustee directly, and just let us know, because we will be setting up the schedule at least for the next 2 or 3 months and then we'll leave space as we go along. So please feel free to suggest anything that you think would be of interest to us as a topic. Anything else? Okay. Well, then may I say thank you very much for sharing your evening. And everybody's got their marching orders. Everybody who's not on a committee will be on a committee by this time tomorrow night. Kirsten will track you down. And Fred, do we still need to get anything out of your garage? We do? Wow, okay. All right, so we have to have a team to go over to Fred's garage because we've had some stuff stacked over there for months, for years. Okay, all right, thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you next month, if not before.
Night, guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Night.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions?
All right. All right. Send us all documents.